Good morning and happy Saturday, and we are here for week 8. And yes, I am looking forward to this because I have this here, right? And it's like, okay, what will this become? How will that inspire what I want to work with? So I wanted to work with this image. I really like it, you know, as we kind of continue to sort of mix this abstract, collage-y, jelly printed stuff with old ephemera and what have you. So I was thinking that because I want to work with this, I'm going to go ahead and tear this out right now. Let's just kind of get this piece torn so I kind of see how it's going to kind of look. So I'm kind of thinking about putting that there, you know, and just be able to see that mark making through it is cool. So it's gonna cause me to sort of think in an abstract kind of way with this printable. Kind of have it over here in my what I have right here are some of my jelly prints that are on tissue paper that I kind of pulled out of my stash. I'm thinking about this piece here. I was looking at this piece, this repeat pattern. These are all different types from, you know, from just waste pieces or pieces that I put in between to dry them that I'll come back at some point and will use. These are a little too bright. This is, I want it on tissue paper, so I could put this kind of pattern down on the edge. And then kind of do this over. Do this one, I think this one. Yeah, because of course I like this yellow. Picks the yellow up of this, the scripting, gives a vintage old world like a Cabinet of Curiosities or an old document look, I think, to it. And it goes with that. So I like that. So I think that'll be one thing. I have some coconut fiber that I came across. I don't know why I kind of want to put it on one of these pages. We'll see. Okay. The other thing I was thinking about for this side is the piece again. Now this is from photographs I've taken on some of my archaeological expeditions. This was in central Italy in Umbria. I was doing a lot of going into different cave systems and ruins that really were covered over with you know, overgrowth. Like they weren't even on like historic registries or anything like that. The team that I went to, we really researched and just found these places that are just like deep in the forest and stuff like that. And these right here, you'll actually find in some of the cities, like if you go to Orvieto, there is a place, a room, kind of like a deep room underneath one of the basilicas that have this kind of room, and they call them pigeoneries. Like that pigeons lived in those holes? I don't think so. That's the official, you know, archaeological story, but I differ with some of my colleagues on that. I haven't gone to a lot of these. I don't think pigeons lived in them because even when you look at them really good, you see no residue. And you know, pigeon poo is very, very acidy. You know, and it will, like, if pigeons were living in here, you would see all kind of, even if they clean them, you could blast them, you're still going to see that discoloration of that pigeon acid. and you know, poo, and you don't see any of it in any of these holes. I think they were resonance chambers. Some kind of way, I think they were resonance, maybe for healing, sound. I think there's a lot of healing and stuff that was in more of the old world that we just don't know about. Or were forgotten, lost, whatever. But I like the repeat pattern of that. I love it. So I think I want to put that in here because for me, it has significance as a part of some of my archaeological studies. You know, some of the digs and stuff and the research expeditions that I've gone on. And so it's just a great repeat pattern, as well as, you know, it's something that, you know, resonates with my research and with my interests. But pigeonries, I don't think they are. And they're, you know, I have colleagues that agree with me on that as well. You know, that we agree, and not that agree with me. I mean, I'm not the first one who thought that they weren't pigeonries. But when we research, we're like, yeah, there's something else going on here. We debate among ourselves what they are. I happen to think that there's some kind of resonance chambers. But that's so cool. I love it. And I feel like this is work together. So I need to build this page. So I think what I'm going to do before I do that, I think I'm going to just lock this in because I like this. Let's go ahead and get this in place. So I need to kind of rip this. I'll go there. Well, let's get more off of that. Kind of might as well let the texting go right up to the top edge. This one is done from my stencil, from my first collection. Okay. Now, put that there. Let's go ahead and get these ends off. Just have the painted bit. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. Of course, I'm going to use the 𝐼𝐬 because we do not want any rips. It's less aggressive. It rolls on this paper nicely. Now this is, no, I was thinking it was onion skin, but it feels like it because it's got so much paint on it and it started to cockle. But this is archival tissue paper in the white that I like to gel print on, you know. Let's put this in. Kind of like that. Alrighty. And because it's translucent, it's also going to, you know, this is going to create layers. So when you're looking at this page, I'm still able to see what's underneath it. So it's just cool. We're building up these layers. I'm going to put that up there like that. I like that. Alrighty. So we're going to use the 𝐼𝐬 again, because this is the tissue. This is the onion skin. So it's no need. It doesn't need an aggressive glue anyhow because it's thin. It's thin paper and it goes down nicely. Okay. Okay. Let's put this here. I really like the way this is, how I love the idea of the botanicals and something this old world ephemera juxtaposed against the jelly prints, or this really contemporary kind of mark making. Okay. Okay, we like that. Now, we're going to put some other stuff on there, but we need to kind of let's get this other side figured out. So I know I want that. I have this little piece of jelly printed fodder. Put that underneath there. So let's say we put this here. And like that. This is on, this is another document that got jelly printed on, I'm sorry, reproduced on onion skin. Oh, I like this piece of fabric. This piece of silk. I like it like that. That fabric down there, we're just going to get some collaging going. Maybe put that on the side. I like that. This piece of, this is a piece of inside of a sari. This is another piece of jelly print on some of the glassine that I just trying different things, see what I have laying around here. I did want to try to do this. I think I am going to put this down because this is a flora and fauna, and I like this bit of coconut. And I think I should glue that down, and it kind of looks like the flower is coming up out of it, but yet it still has a nice abstraction. So let's go ahead and start getting this down. So I need to put this piece first. Let me just make a little mark, because sometimes when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're getting stuff in the right place. So just put a little pencil mark. Since I'm putting this down first, I'm kind of overlapping things on and nowhere. It's nothing worse than putting it down, you get everything glued, and it's short, and you got a gap that you got to figure out what else to put there because the gap wasn't supposed to be there. So hopefully I can avoid that by putting, okay, so we'll kind of let that wrap around a little bit. Okay, then this piece I want to put down because this will go kind of like that over top of this too. Yeah, I think I'm going to put this on top. This is some paper that I jelly printed on, and coffee and tea stained, or could be some rust on here too. But, you know, it's on the calligraphy paper that I'm always talking about that I've given you links for. And this stuff stains so nicely, but it's also nice and thin, and it jelly prints nicely too. So you get these little bits and pieces that really are nice. So once again, we want to use, make sure I get it on the right side, the just love this repeat pattern. I like that it's an architectural element. You know, it came off of one of my field, you know, expedition trips, and that was 14 days, and that was 2018, I think. And it was 14 days of, we went to 14 different small towns and small, it's not even the towns, but small, in some of the small villages, to some of these, oops, some of these sites. And over the course of about 2.5 weeks. Oh, I don't want to lose that. I'll leave that right there. So, and we were hiking like about, they ended up being about 14, 15 mile hikes a day, because we could drive as far as we could, but then some of them were like 5 or 6, 7 miles into the forest. I mean, we were walking. And then you get in there, it may take you a couple of miles to get in there, and then they were vast networks. And we'd be there all day. So it's one of those things I love to do. So a lot of times when I'm traveling, there's one woman out of, she hasn't done any for a while now because of the whole, you know, pandemic thing, but she was organizing a lot of these field trips with her research on megaliths. She does a lot of work on the megaliths and some of this old world stuff. So, and then she invites a team of people to go with her. So people come from all over. We had a geologist from Russia on that particular trip, and people from the States and Europe, you know, all sorts. Might have been 12 of us. And see, I love that. We love how these pieces are just coming together, and by them all being these sort of translucent pieces, just kind of building up a story. Now I want to put this down. This is just a piece of silk. I think this is like kimono silk. Put this down. I'm gonna use a Giotto. So yeah, a lot of times my travels involve me going on expeditions, because that's what I really like to do. I mean, I like going to, you know, regular kind of tour, you know, not tourists, but, you know, I go to, you know, how do you say it? You know what I mean? Visit different city type of trips, but I definitely like going on the archaeological things. It's kind of like my thing. So I'm gonna let this hang off a little bit. She's from Bulgaria. No, not Bulgaria. Sylvia is, yeah, she's from like Bulgaria. So see how that fabric just really lends itself to, you get fabric and then do some, because I have a drawer of it down here too, but get your fabric and do some staining, and you can do stuff with, I just keep different stain stuff. This is, I do with the spray inks and stuff like that, and find vintage garments. And if you're one that you don't mind bumping around a thrift store, go in there and try to find some of the oldest garments you see. See, this is nice there too. Wow, this is a piece of Kuba cloth, Swiza cloth, and that coming off the side is amazing. Am I going to put that there, or do I want to, let's see. Now I'm digging in this drawer. So, like, yeah, one of the things you can do is, look at that old tea bag. I mean, this tea is not old. It's stained. I am going to put, let me put that up there. I do want to remember to put this down. I want that there. So maybe I won't put this over here because it might be a little bit too much. But I feel like I want to put something else here. I could use, oh, this is good. This is some linen that I've done some of the, what did I do? This is removing a decolorant to remove the color of the black linen. So let's put that down there. I really like that there. I think that's a nice piece. Use the Uhu. And then of course we'll have some of it hanging off the page. Because I like my journal to be rich with the edges really being dramatic. That goes perfect right there. So, I like this. I feel like I need to put something in there. I'm going to put something there. But, yeah. Put that right there. Yep. Let's put that down there. I like that. That just keeps on adding. I'm loving this building up of texture, just constantly building up the texture on the page. So let's do that. Kind of just straighten stuff up as I go so I'm not so messy. So for that, I like to use the, I need to get some more of this. Although it's plenty, I see I have a good amount at the bottom there. It's just that after a while, it takes so long to get it to come down. So let me let that sort of come down while we're putting this one down, which we should be able to get to stay in place with the Giotto. But I think I'll do the Giotto and probably a staple. That way I can be sure that it's going to stay. Okay. This is just kind of out here in Arizona. This stuff falls off the trees. I'm sure in California, places where you have palm trees too. So every now and then, after a good storm, as I walk along and I see some of it, if I'm kind of getting low on it, it's nothing you have to store up in your studio out here, that's for sure, because it's everywhere. So if I see stuff, if I know I'm getting a little low on it, or it's a particular piece that's really calling to me, then I pick it up. But okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to staple down this edge a little bit and just like a little staple there, and we'll see a little bit on this side, but I think that's kind of cool. It just adds to, you know, the complexity of the back side of the page. And to me, it keeps itself as a usable, like this is a usable document. Like we're using it. You know, you go to another page, you staple, it goes to the other side. You're not like, it's not like this idea that it's precious. It's like supposed to be like a document that is documenting, you know, your journeys, your research, your explorations, you know, that kind of thing, right? So, love these pages. I just enjoy flipping through these. So yeah, so if we, at the end of the year, make a limited edition, how cool would that be? You could share it with, you know, family and friends and people who would enjoy seeing your work, and to have it like in a finished product like that is just uber cool. Okay, I'm just waiting for this. I'm trying to get this to come down a bit because I want to put this here, and I know it works nicely if let me just cut a bit of this off. If I use the perfect, the fabric tack, and it dries clear. You can see a little bit of it, but not that much to make it, you know, not be desirable. I don't want to forget my direction here either. Trying to get this going. It's amazing. Oh, it's starting to come out. And actually, you can just, sometimes I just do a couple of dots like I'm tacking it. And honestly, that's enough to hold it, because this stuff is not just a little thin piece of, you know, transparency. And this does dry clear. And because we're doing it on top of stuff that's already down there, you know, it will actually, it's going to actually disappear, and you're hardly going to even see that you've tacked it there. I purposely didn't tack the top in case I want to slide something underneath there. I like doing that in my journals so that there's always like a little place that you could slide a little feather or a dried flower or something. So kind of think in terms of that you're making all these little sort of hidden gem of a place to you know, stick other bits and pieces. And I like that. I think that's looking pretty good. So I think what I will do real quick, because I really finished this one in record time. It's just 30 minutes. So what I'll do real quick is I'll show you how I made this, because you probably would like to see that. And it's super simple, but I'll show you. It's on the jelly plate using our transparency, and you can kind of just create these pieces that you can cut up and make into little bits and bobs. So I'll be back to show you all how to do that. But in the meantime, I'm love this collage. And I feel like it's telling a story still. And I feel like they go nicely together. But yet, you know, unexpected, because we don't want this to be expected. Well, I like how the yellow of the bird, when you flip it in, it's that. I guess in my mind I was thinking that subconsciously, but not consciously. I like how this turned out too before. Alrighty, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm back. And so I'm using my small jelly plate. I like to cut my, this is a, you know, an 8.5 by 11 transparency paper. But like I said before, any plastic, I mean, even honest to goodness, packaging that things like this come in, these sleeves, save them, because you can print these and you can use them the exact same way I'm using them. You don't have to get transparency. Just any of these plastics that we hate throwing away anyway, you can jelly print on them and use them. So and all these transparencies, I rescue these from the Goodwills and places like that. When I've shown you guys this before, but when, you know, this stuff is just given away. Like I got a whole box of it for $2.99 at the Savers, 100 sheets of this. I mean, what's going to happen with this? People don't even know what to do with it anymore. So eventually no one's going to buy it, and it just gets thrown away into a landfill. So I'm always rescuing that kind of stuff, but any plastics you have. So I like to just kind of cut it down to size so that when it's drying, I already have elements. So I think I'm going to begin with some gold. I normally will put one color on at a time, but then it builds up. So I put a few dots down and just kind of using a palette knife, kind of move stuff around. And then coming back like with the back of a paintbrush, I'm just kind of doing mark making. And then lay this down. And let me get a piece of copier paper, just so that whatever smears over the sides, you know, this paper will absorb. I won't make a mess of it. And I just push it down because it's going to smear and smush underneath there. When you lift it, you have this. And when it dries, you have these neat fragments to collage with. So let's make a few of these. I'm going to do some gold See, there's enough stuff down there that I can keep working this. A bit more, another little dot. And you can take some brush marks and put it down. And this is what I do to get my little stash back up again. See? So you get these layers, and you just can use them all different kinds of ways as you layer them over other text, other images. So you just really are keeping them so that you can see through them still. But, you know, so I'm going to put some white down. Let's do the white with some gold. This is the Blick Matte Acrylic. So this is, I'm going to get a nice smushy one here. The first one always has more on it, and I don't mind the build-up on it. I sort of like the fact that you'll see the paint surface. You know, generally I don't like those peaks that the paint makes. But I like them on here because either you can do this side when you go to collage with them, or you can do the paint side up and get that texture. Oh, I do love that. So I'm just kind of doing some scripting and manipulating in it. So, you know, do whatever colors you want. I do a lot with my black, my gold and white. It just kind of works in with everything. But if I'm doing this technique in a jelly printing series that I might be working on, I'll work with some of the colors. I mean, I'll change my colors depending, but look how good that looks. It's just like some amazing mark making that we can use. Okay. So I'm going to just take a little bit of black now and just let me do it over here because I kind of want to do some dots. So I'm just squeezing some off over here. And then I think I'm just take the end of my paintbrush and just put some dots down. And then pull it. So, see, we got that. That's neat. Just kind of create a dot pattern here before you go all the way to the black. So here again, any kind of mark making on the plate that you want, you can do. So I'm going to keep on picking up some of that white, although the white is starting to dry, but we're getting that nice dot pattern that we can use. So I'll do another couple, oh yeah, I have 2 more pieces here, so we'll do those. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna use some tissue paper and just kind of clean this off. So that I can kind of go for my black. And, you know, let's put a little bit of quinacridone down. That's always a plate cleaner. Okay. Should help pick this up. And then we'll get a couple of blacks. And, you know, you can just, like we always do, you can just make a bit of these and then, you know, put them in your collage box so it's ready to go. See, so this will pick it all up. And then we have a nice print there we can use. That looks lovely. So we'll do a few black here and then here's some black here. Let's put this down. Yeah, and that way you guys can see how I do that. If you want to kind of do the same thing, you'll know how to. Okay. This is the Blick matte acrylic. So, of course, there's no rights or wrongs. You just do it. It's all random, free flow. Whatever comes up. You can do specific patterns. I like doing these sort of random patterns because then I can cut these into smaller sections like I did with that little piece we used. That was just like a little section of it. This is what the side looks like, of course. So both sides, you get a different look on, depending on what side you're. And last but not least, let's just get some more. It's enough down there normally for a couple of pulls. See? So, so when we did this in this book, you can see, now taking a look at it, since I've just shown you what I've done, you can see how it looks dried, right? And this is the top side where the paint is underneath, but I just cut a small section of that and used it. So, very easy. Let's just go ahead and pick some more of this paint up. Clean the plate, but when we do that, we get a print just the same. So, I had a little bit more left on here so you know. I do not stop with good paint laying around. So we'll just make some more transparent fragment type pieces. So all these pieces we can use. And let me get another piece of tissue paper. Just like to get the plate clean. So all these kind of pieces become sort of ink blot type of. And then of course, I'm gonna just put a little bit of quinacridone just to clean it. And of course, we can coffee stain these cleanup pieces, right? Or also using the 𝐼𝐍𝐝 as well to stain them. And then you already have the paint on there, because you know we've done that before. So we already have the paint on here, and then you stain them, and the staining works with the paint. So this, I'd always try to finish a session by doing as much as I can to clean. You know, I don't mind leaving bits and pieces like that, but I don't like leaving paint, you know, that's just was sitting over there that I could just use, and you could turn it into a print. And then we stain this, because we've done that before on the tissue paper using the 𝐼𝐍𝐝. And for those of you who are new, just go back to any of the videos that say mark making, or you'll look at the front of the video and you'll see where I'm making the papers. I think most of them are like mark making and staining, what have you. But that's that. So we are done. We got a quick little jelly printing session in, so you can see how I did this right here. We got our collage and our next pages done, and we are just moving right along in our Cabinet of Curiosities JunkAdori. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, it's been a lot of fun as always. Thank you. You know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, please thumb it up. It sends it out into the algorithms. We're looking at doubling our community this year. If you're new, please hit the subscribe and hit the bell for all, and that way you'll get the notifications. And when I do the premieres every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern, we can get on together and talk and join in the communities. Lots of amazing creators over there, and every morning from all over the world every Saturday morning from all over the world, we get together and we talk and we share anecdotal stories, and I am enjoying getting so much out of it. So thank you, all of you who come in and create a community on Saturday mornings. Love you so much. And until next week, of course, happy creating. Take care. Bye-bye.